What if I told you that every belief you hold, every habit you follow, and every dream you chase is nothing more than a pattern in your brain, and that you hold the extraordinary power to rewire those patterns to unlock a life beyond your wildest imagination? Rewiring your brain is not science fiction. It's the very real promise of neuroplasticity. For decades, researchers like Marion Diamond have shown us that the brain remains malleable throughout our lives, capable of forming new neural connections whenever we learn, adapt, or practice intentionally. This means that every time you challenge a limiting thought, embrace a fresh perspective, or adopt a new behavior, you're literally reshaping the architecture of your mind. The mind is everything. What you think you become, said the Buddha, a timeless reminder that our inner narratives sculpt our outer realities. By harnessing this dynamic capacity, you can dismantle the mental roadblocks that keep you stuck and build a foundation for sustained growth and fulfillment. Yet, most of us drift through life on autopilot, replaying the same mental loops without question. Those loops, negative self-talk, procrastination cycles, and anxiety triggers, may have originated as survival mechanisms designed to keep you safe from perceived threats. But safety rarely equals satisfaction. When you find yourself murmuring, "I'm not good enough," or "change is impossible," recognize these as old programs running in the background. They are not truths, but habits of thought that can be reprogrammed. As Norman Vincent Peale encouraged, change your thoughts and you change your world. Your first step is to shine a gentle, non-judgmental light on these scripts and decide consciously which ones you will let go. Awareness is the bedrock of any meaningful transformation. Start by cultivating mindfulness, simply observing your thoughts without getting swept away by them. A brief daily meditation, even just 5 minutes of focusing on your breath, can create the necessary space to catch those automatic narratives before they hijack your emotions. Journaling is another powerful tool. When you write down recurring thoughts or feelings, patterns emerge on the page that might have been invisible in the whirlwind of your mind. Becoming is better than being, said Carol Dweck, pointing to the power of a growth mindset. By acknowledging where you are now and where you'd rather be, you lay the groundwork for deliberate change. Once you've identified a limiting belief, say, "I don't have the discipline to wake up early," you can actively reshape it through cognitive restructuring. Replace the old thought with a new, empowering affirmation that feels true, relevant, and actionable. Rather than saying, "I can't wake up early," choose, "I am someone who greets the day with purpose." Even if it feels awkward at first, repeating this affirmation daily sends a clear signal to your brain. These are the connections you want to strengthen. Albert Einstein once observed, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." By consistently affirming a new thought, you begin to weave fresh neural pathways that support the person you're becoming. Visualization is your next secret weapon. The brain often cannot distinguish between vivid, imagined experiences and real ones. So, rehearsing your desired outcomes in detail primes your neural networks for success. Bo Bennett nailed it when he said, "Visualization is daydreaming with a purpose." Before you fall asleep each night, spend 5 minutes picturing yourself confidently navigating the challenge you're working on, delivering that presentation, sticking to your workout, or waking up before the sun. Feel the emotions, sense the environment, and engage all your senses. This mental rehearsal accelerates skill acquisition and heightens motivation, making the leap from intention to action feel almost inevitable. To make lasting change, you must also tap into the power of habits, and habit stacking is one of the most reliable ways to do it. As James Clear reminds us, habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Identify an existing routine, pouring your morning coffee, brushing your teeth, and attach a new small behavior to it. After you brew your coffee, spend 2 minutes planning your top 3 priorities. After you brush, do a 1-minute breathing exercise. These tiny adjustments take advantage of established neural circuits, making the new behavior feel effortless over time. Before you know it, your upgraded habits become part of who you are rather than chores you dread. Your environment also plays a pivotal role in shaping your brain. Out of sight, out of mind isn't just a cliche, it's a neurological fact. Your surroundings cue your behavior far more powerfully than your willpower alone ever could. Want to read more? Keep a book on your pillow instead of your phone. Aiming to snack healthier? Place fruit on the counter where you can see it and hide the chips in a cupboard. By designing your external world to support your internal goals, you remove friction and make good choices the path of least resistance. Transformation doesn't happen in isolation. Social support and accountability are catalysts for rewiring your brain. Share your intentions with a friend, join a mastermind group, or find an accountability partner who checks in regularly. When we verbalize our goals and know someone else is rooting for us, or even waiting for a progress report, our brains release dopamine in anticipation of social approval, reinforcing the new behaviors. As the saying goes, surround yourself with those on the same mission as you and watch your own journey accelerate. Reflection through journaling is not only about spotting negative patterns, it's also about celebrating wins. Create a success log where you jot down every small victory, from resisting a bad habit to completing a meditation session. Reviewing this log on challenging days provides concrete proof that change is happening and that your efforts are not in vain. This kind of positive feedback loop stimulates the release of endorphins, bolstering your belief in your own capability. Managing emotions is another critical element of brain rewiring. Emotional hijacks, those moments when frustration, fear, or anger take over, can undo progress in an instant. Simple breathwork techniques like box breathing, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the fight-or-flight response and giving you a window to choose a constructive reaction. Viktor Frankl wisely noted, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." By mastering your internal state, you maintain the clarity needed to enact deliberate change. Physical health underpins mental transformation. Regular exercise not only strengthens your body, but also floods your brain with neurotrophic factors, chemicals that support neuron growth and connectivity. Quality sleep consolidates the new pathways you're building, transferring short-term learning into long-term memory. Nutrient-dense foods, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and B vitamins, fuel neurotransmitter production, ensuring your brain has the raw materials for rewiring. Treat your body as the essential partner it is in this journey. Neglect it, and progress will stall. If you want to quantify your transformation, consider using biofeedback or neurofeedback tools that track indicators like heart rate variability or brainwave patterns. These technologies give you real-time data on how your interventions, be it meditation, breathwork, or exercise, are affecting your nervous system. Seeing objective improvements, not only validates your efforts, but also fine-tunes your approach, guiding you toward the most effective techniques for your unique brain. Setbacks are inevitable, but they're also invaluable learning opportunities. When you slip back into an old behavior, resist the urge to berate yourself. Instead, ask, "What triggered this?" and "What can I do differently next time?" Treat each setback as feedback, not failure. Over time, this attitude of curiosity and resilience becomes woven into your neural fabric, making you bounce back stronger and more determined. Countless individuals have used these principles to achieve remarkable growth. Take the example of James Clear, who turned daily habit tweaks into a best-selling book and a life freed from procrastination. Or author Elizabeth Gilbert, who rewired her fearful mind into one that embraced the vulnerability necessary for creative genius. Their journeys underscore a simple truth. When you commit to intentional mental rewiring, extraordinary results follow. To integrate these techniques into your life, start by crafting concise morning and evening rituals. In the morning, blend a short meditation, an empowering affirmation, and a 2-minute planning session. In the evening, spend 5 minutes journaling successes and areas for improvement. Over time, these rituals become anchors, predictable, comforting practices that keep you aligned with your goals, regardless of external chaos. Let's recap the core steps. Cultivate awareness through mindfulness and journaling. Restructure your thoughts with targeted affirmations. Prime your brain with visualization. Build sustainable habits by stacking them onto existing routines. Optimize your environment. Enlist social support. Manage emotions with breath work. Nourish your brain through sleep, nutrition, and exercise. And embrace setbacks as opportunities to refine your approach. This holistic framework addresses every facet of change, ensuring that your new neural pathways become as robust as the ones you're replacing. What if you could supercharge your mental rewiring journey by unlocking hidden layers of your mind? Layers so powerful they could turn every challenge into an opportunity, every setback into a stepping stone, and every moment of doubt into a source of unstoppable momentum. 1. The triad of cognitive mastery: attention, intention, and action. At the core of lasting change lies a dynamic interplay between attention, what you focus on, intention, why you do it, and action, what you actually do. Neuroscientist Amishi Jha reminds us, attention is the currency of cognition. When you consciously direct your attention toward specific thoughts or stimuli, you prime the neural networks responsible for that domain. But attention alone isn't enough. You must couple it with a clear intention, the personal why that imbues actions with meaning. As motivational speaker Les Brown says, you must be hungry. Without that hunger, a well-defined intention, your actions lack the motivational fuel to persist. Finally, action cements the process by sweeping synaptic connections into stronger pathways through repeated use. Each time you engage in a new behavior with focused attention and meaningful intention, you accelerate neuroplasticity and embed the change more deeply than any single component could achieve alone. Practical application attention drill. Twice daily, practice a 3-minute focused noticing exercise. Choose an object, your coffee mug, a plant, even your own breath, and observe every detail without judgment. Notice color, texture, temperature. This hones attentional control. Intention statement. Before each major activity, work session, workout, creative pursuit, articulate and write in. My intention in the next 60 minutes is to aken, because ahen. The added "because" anchors the neurochemical motivation to dopamine pathways. Action execution. Immediately after stating your intention, execute a small, measurable behavior toward that goal. Write one paragraph, complete one set of reps, sketch one scene. The fusion of attention, intention, and action creates a potent learning loop. 2. Harnessing cognitive biases for your benefit. Our brains carry evolutionary shortcuts, cognitive biases that often lead us astray. Yet, when flipped intentionally, these same biases become powerful levers of change. Loss. Aversion. We feel losses more deeply than gains. To use this, frame your goals in terms of avoiding a loss. If I skip my morning run, I lose the mental clarity I rely on. Social proof. We follow the crowd. Surround yourself with prototype individuals who model the behaviors you desire. Study their routines, share progress in a community setting, and let the herd mentality work in your favor. Scarcity effect. Limited availability heightens value. Set short-term sprints, e.g., 2-week challenges, to create urgency around new habits. Commit publicly to increase accountability. Peak end rule. We judge experiences by their most intense moment and how they end. Structure your day so that key positive experiences, like a gratitude practice, occur at the end of significant tasks, leaving your brain with a strong end memory that encourages repetition. Quote to remember: "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." Aristotle. 3. Advanced neurohacking techniques. Beyond conventional habit formation lie neurohacks, targeted interventions that accelerate plasticity. Transcranial direct current stimulation, TDCS. While typically requiring clinical oversight, consumer-grade devices can deliver low-level currents to specific brain regions, boosting learning and focus when paired with training. Cold exposure. Brief immersion in cold water, 60 to 90 seconds at 10 degrees Celsius, triggers a surge of norepinephrine, improving alertness, mood, and neuroplastic potential. Infrared light therapy. Near-infrared light on the skull promotes mitochondrial efficiency in neurons, potentially enhancing cognitive function and recovery. Intermittent fasting and ketosis. Cycling into mild ketosis can increase BDNF levels, supporting neuron growth and connectivity, ideal for deep learning phases. Caveat: always consult a qualified professional before experimenting with advanced biohacks to ensure safety and proper protocols. The power of mental contrasting and implementation intentions. Research by psychologist Gabriele Oettingen demonstrates that combining mental contrasting, envisioning your goal, and then contrasting it with the current reality, with implementation intentions, if X happens, then I will do Y, produces dramatic improvements in goal attainment, up to 300% more effective than goal setting alone. How to practice. Mental contrast session. 5 minutes. Close your eyes and vividly imagine achieving your most important goal. Nail that presentation. Finish writing your book. Bask in the positive emotions. Then, contrast by visualizing the main internal obstacle standing between you and success. Your own anxiety, tendency to procrastinate. Feel the weight of that obstacle. Implementation intention mapping. Write down precise if-then lines addressing those obstacles. Example: if I notice my heart rate rising before a meeting, X, then I will take 3 slow breaths and recall my opening line, Y. Feedback. Loop. At day's end, review whether your if-then plans executed. Adjust them based on what triggered or failed to trigger your response. 5. Embodied cognition, aligning body and mind. Your physical state profoundly influences your cognitive wiring. According to the theory of embodied cognition, posture, movement, and breathing shape thinking patterns. Power poses. Amy Cuddy's work suggests that holding expansive poses for 2 minutes, hands on hips, chest open, increases testosterone, lowers cortisol, and boosts confidence, firing up neural circuits for assertiveness. Expressive writing with movement. Instead of journaling seated, incorporate gentle movements. Walk while speaking thoughts into a recorder, then transcribe later. This coupling emotion with reflection deepens encoding. Box breathing and tactical breather. A pattern of inhale, hold, exhale, hold at equal counts engages the vagus nerve, synchronizes heart rate variability, and creates a neurochemical milieu ripe for learning. Practice before challenging tasks to center your mind. 6. Cultivating deep work and flow states. Cal Newport's concept of deep work, uninterrupted, cognitively demanding work, mirrors the ancient Greek notion of flow, described by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi as the state where challenge meets skill in perfect balance. Flow triggers a dopamine norepinephrine cocktail that enhances neuroplasticity. Ritualize deep work. Designate daily focus blocks, 60 to 90 minutes, free from distractions, phone off, notifications silenced, environment optimized for concentration. Pre-work mindset. Begin each block with a brief ritual. Lighting a candle, donning focus headphones, reciting a power phrase, to signal to your brain the transition into deep work. Gradual intensity ramp. If you're new to long focus sessions, start with 25-minute Pomodoros and incrementally increase duration by 5 minutes each week until you sustain 90-minute stretches. Flow triggers. Establish clear goals, immediate feedback mechanisms, timers, progress meters, and work at the edge of your competence, just beyond comfort but within reach. Inspirational. Quote, "The best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile." Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. 7. Mastering memory with the method of loci and spaced repetition. To rewire memory circuits for lasting retention, pair the method of loci, memory palace technique, with spaced repetition. Build your memory palace. Choose a familiar environment, your home, office, or a well-known route. Assign distinct loci, locations, to ideas or affirmations you wish to remember. Embed images and emotions. Visualize each item as a vivid, absurd image. Fire-breathing coffee mug at the front door, for instance, to strengthen hippocampal encoding. Spaced repetition schedule. Review each memory locus at increasing intervals. Day 1, Day 3, Day 7, Day 14, Day 30, to harness the spacing effect, which optimizes consolidation in long-term memory. Active recall. During reviews, close your eyes and mentally walk through your palace, retrieving each image before checking notes. This practice reinforces neural circuits far more effectively than passive review. 8. Cultivating a learning ecosystem. Beyond personal rituals, create an ecosystem that perpetuates growth. Curated media diet. Subscribe only to channels, newsletters, and podcasts that align with your rewiring goals: mental performance, emotional intelligence, creativity. Unsubscribe ruthlessly from content that triggers negativity or distraction. Learning accountability. Pods. Form small groups, 2 to 4 people who commit to weekly skill-building tasks, share progress, give feedback, and co-create learning playlists of resources. Micro-learning deployments leverage intervals of downtime, commute, waiting lines to ingest bite-sized lessons via flashcards, Anki, brief podcasts, or audiobooks. These microbursts reinforce niche circuits without overwhelming your schedule. 9. Integrating creativity and divergent thinking. Neuroplasticity thrives on novelty. To avoid cognitive plateau, mind mapping sessions. At least once a week, grab a large sheet of paper or digital tool and map out a problem or idea in every direction. Branches for emotions, logic, visuals, metaphors. Random input technique. Select 2 unrelated stimuli, a news article about urban design and a quote from Shakespeare, and brainstorm how they intersect. This forces novel neural linkages. Constraint-based creation. Impose arbitrary limits. Write a poem without the letter E. Cook a meal with only 5 ingredients to spark inventive neural pathways. 10. Emotional resilience and post-traumatic growth. Ultimately, the greatest neural rewiring happens when adversity strikes. Research on post-traumatic growth shows that people can emerge stronger, more empathetic, and purpose-driven after hardship. Narrative reframing. Write your stress story from a third-person perspective, focusing on lessons learned and strengths discovered. This shifts amygdala-driven fear patterns into prefrontal-mediated insights. Expressive arts therapy. Use drawing, music, or dance to externalize trauma. This multimodal engagement recruits diverse brain areas for integrated healing. Meaning, making ritual. Craft a personal ceremony, lighting a candle, reading a poem, or planting a tree to symbolize the transformation of pain into growth, imprinting the change in both body and mind. Quote, to embrace. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Rumi. 11th. Biorhythmic alignment and chronotype optimization. Your individual chronotype, whether you're an early bird, night owl, or somewhere in between, guides optimal timing for different tasks. Aligning your rewiring practices with your biorhythms amplifies effectiveness. Morning surge, high cortisol window. Ideal for high-focus work, deep creative tasks, or learning new skills. Cortisol naturally peaks within an hour of waking. Midday dip, post-lunch slump. Best suited for light physical movement, social interaction, or diffused creative thinking. Schedule strategic breaks to move or power nap. Evening restoration. Reserve this period for rituals that promote consolidation. Journaling, reading, gratitude practices when melatonin gradually rises. Chronotype mapping. Over 2 weeks, track your energy and focus levels hourly. Then schedule your highest priority rewiring activities in your personal peak windows. 12th. Progress metrics and reflective audits. What gets measured gets managed. Develop a multi-dimensional dashboard of metrics. Quantitative indicators, habit streaks, deep work hours logged, pages of journaling, minutes meditated. Qualitative scores, daily mood ratings, perceived creativity levels, self-reported stress. Performance outcomes, presentation ratings, writing word counts, skill mastery milestones. Weekly neuro audit, review your dashboard, highlight top 3 wins and top 3 learning opportunities. Adjust upcoming week's schedule. Reallocate focus blocks, tweak rituals, refine if-then plans. 13. The ripple effect, impact and contribution. True transformation radiates outward. As you rewire, consider how to share the bounty. Micro-mentoring. Offer 15-minute brain rewiring sessions to a colleague or friend, teaching one technique you found powerful. Content creation. Write blog posts, record short videos, or host live sessions sharing your journey. Translation accelerates your own mastery. Community service. Volunteer your sharpened focus and empathy skills in local initiatives, embodying the growth you seek. 14. Integration. Weaving it all together. By now, you have amassed an arsenal of strategies: cognitive triads, bias leverage, neurohacks, mental contrasting, embodied practices, deep work rituals, memory palaces, creative prompts, emotional growth techniques, chronotype alignment, and reflective metrics. The final challenge: integration. Create a master weekly template that assigns each practice a consistent slot. Monday morning, focus block plus intention setting plus gratitude journaling. Tuesday, midday, cold exposure plus power pose plus creative mind map. Wednesday evening, memory palace review plus expressive journaling plus social proof check-in. Thursday morning, TDCS session, if available, plus deep work sprint plus physical hit burst. Friday afternoon, reflective neuro audit plus celebration ritual. Weekend, period of active recovery, nature walk, expressive arts, low-key community service. Use a digital calendar with habit tracking integrations or a simple analog planner. What matters is consistency. Over months, these interlocking practices form a resilient, self-reinforcing ecosystem where your brain doesn't just sustain change, it thrives on it. 15. Looking ahead. The lifelong journey of neuroplastic mastery. As you close Part 2, remember that rewiring your brain is less about destination and more about continual evolution. With every cycle of challenge and rest, feedback and refinement, you'll discover new frontiers of capability and meaning. In the immortal words of Carl Jung, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Today, you choose growth. Tomorrow, transformation. And beyond, you choose legacy. What if the greatest revolution you ever experience isn't in the world around you, but in the quiet, imperceptible rewiring that happens deep within your own mind? Transformations so profound that every challenge becomes a catalyst for growth, and every moment of doubt a stepping stone to unshakable confidence. 1. Somatic self-awareness. Listening to your body's wisdom. True transformation begins by tuning into the language of your body. Somatic practices, such as body scans, gentle stretching, or mindful walking, bridge the gap between thought and sensation. Each morning, set aside 5 minutes to lie flat, close your eyes, and mentally scan from crown to toe, noticing tension, warmth, or ease in each region. As you pay non-judgmental attention to these sensations, you strengthen the mind-body connection and cultivate the neural pathways that integrate emotional and physical awareness. Over time, this heightened somatic literacy allows you to detect stress or limiting beliefs the instant they arise. So you can intervene with a breath, a posture shift, or a mental reframe. As Peter Levine, the founder of Somatic Experiencing, reminds us, when the mind and body speak the same language, healing becomes inevitable. 2. Polyvagal practices. Mastering your nervous system. Dr. Stephen Porges's polyvagal theory illuminates how our nervous system toggles between states of safety, mobilization, and shutdown. By incorporating simple exercises like humming, gentle neck massage, or safe place visualization, you can activate the ventral vagal pathway, the social engagement system that promotes calm, curiosity, and connection. For instance, spend 2 minutes softly humming or chanting Om, feeling vibrations in your chest. This direct vagal stimulation lowers heart rate and reduces cortisol, priming your brain for learning rather than fight or flight. When you practice these techniques daily, you're literally rewiring your autonomic responses, making it easier to access creativity and focus even under pressure. Calm down to speed up. As mental performance coach Dr. Michael Gervais often advises, polyvagal practices give you that calming throttle. Third, intermittent reflection. Journals, the art of strategic pause. Journaling at the same time every day is powerful, but strategic, intermittent reflection journals take it to the next level. Rather than a lengthy daily dump, schedule brief, focused check-ins at unpredictable moments: midday on Tuesday, late afternoon on Thursday, early Sunday morning. In each session, answer 3 questions in no more than 3 sentences. What thought is dominating me right now? What new possibility am I open to? What micro-action can I take next? These unscheduled pauses catch your mind off guard, revealing blind spots and emergent patterns you'd otherwise overlook. This method trains neural agility. Your brain becomes adept at shifting perspective and spotting opportunities for growth in real time. As the poet Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." Intermittent reflection ensures no feeling remains unexamined for long. 4. Micro resets. The 60-second focus booster. In our hyperstimulated world, sustained attention is a precious resource. Enter the micro reset, a 60-second ritual you can perform anywhere to recalibrate focus. Choose a simple exercise: 3 deep diaphragmatic breaths, gazing out the window and counting 5 distinct shapes, or tracing the outline of your fingernails with your eyes closed. These micro-resets interrupt wandering thoughts and return your prefrontal cortex to the present task. Neuroscientists have found that brief pauses like these reduce mental fatigue and restore willpower reserves. Build dozens of micro-resets into your day, after every 5 emails, between meetings, or whenever your mind begins to drift. Over time, these tiny pulses of presence accumulate, transforming your attention span and the quality of every decision you make. 5th affirmation: variability, keeping neural circuits fresh. We've all tried affirmations. I am confident. Yet repetition can dull their impact. The solution is affirmation variability, crafting multiple versions of the same underlying truth and rotating them daily. For confidence, you might use, I greet challenges with calm strength, I embody self-trust in every moment, or my presence uplifts those around me. By cycling through at least 7 unique affirmations for each theme, you continually recruit fresh neural ensembles, preventing habituation. Record these in your journal, speak them aloud during transition points, or set rotating reminders on your phone. Each new phrasing sparks novelty, driving dopamine responses and accelerating pathway growth. As motivational speaker Zig Ziglar said, "Positive thinking will let you do everything better than negative thinking will." Variable affirmations ensure your positivity stays potent. 6th, meta mindset. Observing your own thinking. To truly master your inner world, cultivate the meta-mindset, the ability to observe your thoughts as an impartial witness. This mind-watcher perspective decouples your sense of self from fleeting mental events. Practice by imagining your thoughts written on clouds drifting through the sky. You don't have to chase or judge them. Alternatively, label thoughts as story, fact, or fear. Is that inner critic's voice actual evidence or a narrative? Research in metacognition shows that this detached stance reduces reactive behavior and increases cognitive flexibility. When you operate from the meta-mindset, you can choose which thoughts to amplify and which to diffuse, rewiring your brain toward empowered, intentional living. 7. Sleep biohacking, architecting nocturnal growth. Growth doesn't end when you close your eyes, it accelerates. During deep sleep, your brain consolidates new learning, prunes obsolete synapses, and fortifies emergent networks. You can biohack sleep quality through consistent sleep-wake schedules, even on weekends. A wind-down ritual, gentle stretching, reading, dim lights, and strategic use of blue light blockers in the evening. Consider a short anchor nap strategy. A 20-minute nap early in the afternoon sharpens memory without grogginess, while a 90-minute nap in the early evening can deliver a full REM cycle, enhancing creativity. As sleep researcher Matthew Walker notes, sleep is the Swiss Army knife of health. Prioritizing restorative sleep amplifies every other rewiring effort you undertake. 8. Nutrient timing for neurotransmitter balance. Your diet is the silent partner in brain rewiring, but when you eat can be as impactful as what you eat. Aim for protein-rich breakfast to supply amino acids for dopamine and serotonin synthesis first thing in the morning. Schedule healthy fats, avocados, nuts, olive oil, around periods of heavy cognitive work. Fatty acids support myelin production, speeding neural transmission. Incorporate small, balanced meals or low glycemic snacks every 3 to 4 hours to maintain a steady glucose supply. Avoid blood sugar crashes that trigger cortisol and foggy thinking. Finally, consider finishing dinner by 7 p.m. to allow a comfortable fasting window before sleep, boosting BDNF levels overnight. By aligning nutrient timing with your brain's biochemistry, you give every neuron the raw materials and fuel schedule it needs to rewire efficiently. 9. Purpose-driven peer coaching, elevating accountability. Accountability partners are common, but purpose-driven peer coaching takes it further by pairing individuals with complementary goals who meet weekly to co-create solutions. For example, a writer and a musician collaborate to refine each other's creative rituals, or an entrepreneur and an artist exchange insights on time management and flow states. This cross-pollination injects fresh perspectives and accountability that align with each participant's deeper why. At each session, spend the first 10 minutes celebrating successes, the next 10 debriefing challenges, and the final 10 brainstorming next step experiments. The social reward of helping someone else rewires your ventral striatum with dopamine, strengthening your own motivation. As business strategist Simon Sinek says, working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Purpose-driven peer coaching ignites that passion. 10th, integrative movement modalities beyond exercise. Physical movement isn't just for health, it's a catalyst for neuroplasticity. Beyond cardio and strength training, explore integrative modalities like yoga, qigong, or flow arts, poi, spinning, contact juggling. These disciplines fuse balance, coordination and mindful awareness, recruiting cerebellar and parietal networks that conventional workouts often neglect. For instance, a 10-minute Qigong routine upon waking centers your mind and grounds your energy, while a brief flow poise session in the afternoon reboots creativity. Research shows that novel movement patterns trigger higher levels of BDNF and neurogenesis than repetitive motion alone. By expanding your movement repertoire, you continuously challenge your brain, forging versatile, resilient neural circuitry. 11th, neurostimulation. Scheduling, safe and strategic use. When paired with cognitive tasks, non-invasive neurostimulation, like TDCS or transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS, can supercharge learning. If you have access to a certified device, map stimulation sessions to coincide with your most intense learning periods. A 20-minute TDCS session targeting the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex before your daily deep work block, for example. Always follow safety guidelines. Low current, 1 to 2 milliamps, 20 minutes maximum, and professional oversight. Anecdotal and preliminary research suggests that this strategic scheduling enhances synaptic long-term potentiation, reinforcing the very circuits you're cultivating through practice. The combination of targeted stimulation and deliberate training acts like fertilizer for your brain's new growth, embedding learning in micro-interactions. You don't have to carve out hours to learn. Embed micro-lessons into mundane moments. Attach a brief mental workout to everyday triggers. Recite a foreign language vocabulary word each time you open your laptop. Practice a 10-second visualization while waiting at a traffic light. Review one key affirmation before sipping water. These micro-interactions harness the spacing effect and context cues, reinforcing memory without stealing large time blocks. Over weeks, thousands of these tiny repetitions compound into mastery. As learning scientist Anders Ericsson observed, it's not about the hours you put in, but the quality and consistency of your practice. Micro-interactions ensure both. 13th, neural resilience. Toolkit, combating stress. Stress is the arch nemesis of rewiring. Build a neural resilience toolkit comprising rapid interventions. The 4-7-8 breath, inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8. The fingertip grounding technique, press each fingertip with the opposite thumb in sequence. Or a safe image flash. Imagine your happiest memory for 5 seconds. Store these in a quick access list on your phone or a small card in your wallet. When stress threatens to hijack your progress, these tools reroute amygdala-driven reactions into prefrontal-mediated responses, preserving the integrity of your new circuits. A resilient brain weathers storms without erasing the gains you've fought to build. 14th, ritualized transition points. Anchoring change. Transition points, when you shift from one context to another, are prime opportunities for ritualized anchoring. Design simple but meaningful cues. Place a specific song on your pre-focus playlist. Wear a dedicated creativity scarf only during brainstorming. Light a citrus-scented candle at the start of your evening reflection. These sensory markers signal to your brain that it's time to switch modes, reducing friction and mental inertia. Over time, the rituals become Pavlovian triggers, automatically engaging the optimized neural networks you've cultivated for each activity. As novelist Muriel Rukeyser said, "What would happen if one woman told the truth about her life? The world would split open." Rituals tell your brain the truth about your priorities. 15. Your ongoing rewiring blueprint. Charting tomorrow's mind. You're now equipped with an arsenal of advanced techniques: somatic awareness, polyvagal exercises, intermittent journaling, micro resets, affirmation variability, meta-mindset cultivation, sleep and nutrient biohacks, purpose-driven coaching, integrative movement, neurostimulation scheduling, micro-interactions, resilience tools, and ritualized transitions. The final step is creating your ongoing rewiring blueprint, a living document that maps which practices you'll apply, when and how you'll measure success. On Sunday evenings, review and adjust. What worked? What needs refinement? Which new tools will you introduce next week? By committing to this iterative design process, you transform your brain into an adaptive, ever-evolving system, capable of rising to any challenge and forging new frontiers of potential. Choose 3 techniques from this Part 3 guide that resonate most deeply with you. Schedule them into your planner right now, and share your selection and rationale in the comments below or with your accountability partner. Your future self is waiting to thank you for every deliberate choice you make today. Let's keep this rewiring revolution rolling.